Hey there, this is our Georgia Suburban Homestead, and we're going to be making vanilla extract today. Welcome, and let's get cooking. Vanilla extract, there are about 250 complex flavors within a vanilla bean. And this is a vanilla bean, okay? And the flavors are extracted with water or alcohol or water and alcohol. Water will extract one level of flavor profile and alcohol will extract another. So when you're using a pure grain alcohol to do your extracts and diluting it with distilled water, you get a full profile in your end product. So today what we're going to do is we're going to both use Everclear, which is 190 proof, distilled with distilled water, a 1 to 1 1/4 ratio, 1 being the alcohol, 1 1/4 being the distilled water, for one recipe. And then the other recipe, which is much easier, we're going to use a bourbon. But I found this, it's called Redemption, and it is roughly 42% alcohol, and I'll talk about how to tell what's proof and what's alcohol a little bit later in this video. So just to get an idea on what you can do with vanilla beans. As I said, the different beans have different flavor profiles. Here's an extraction that I started in July 2021. Now, to reach its full maturity, it will have to sit in here a year, okay? So this is a Tahitian vanilla bean. It's in vodka, which has no flavor additives to it. It's just kind of, you'll taste just the pure vanilla flavor with it. It's 50% alcohol. And this has a fruity flavor to it. The Tahitian beans are fruity flavored and are used a lot in baking, but also it is used in perfumes. So if you're doing any scents, that would be a good candidate. This is a Madagascar bean, and Madagascar, they produce the most vanilla beans worldwide, and most commonly extracted with bourbon. So here is Madagascar beans in bourbon that I started last July, and you can see the nice color that is already seven months into it. It's now mid-January 2022. And this has a creamy, rich flavor. This is the vanilla extract you're probably used to purchasing in the store, but homemade, so much better. Makes great gifts. So if you look at the color and you see the beans in there, that's a good color and it's a good extraction. Now to get a scent on it, oh, that's a rich vanilla scent. It's really yummy. What I did is I took the Tahitian beans and the Madagascar beans and I did one each in bourbon and one in vodka. But today we're going to be using Everclear with the Ugandan beans that I just got in the mail. Now, just a little bit on flavor profiles, and I am going to use a cheat sheet to read this to you. The experts describe the Madagascar as rich and creamy, okay? The Tahitian beans are the most expensive vanilla bean that you can get worldwide. They have a floral cherry chocolate flavor, and they're, as I said, good for used in scents if you're making your own perfumes. The Uganda bean is a really thick bean. It's the highest quality vanilla bean that you can get. The flavor profile is milk chocolate, but it's got the texture and the richness of the Madagascar. It's good for desserts, ice cream, cordials, cookies, cakes, sugars, whatever you want to use it for. So the first thing we're going to do is do the Everclear extract, because when we add the Everclear and the water, it's going to heat up a little bit, and it needs to sit for 20 minutes to half an hour before you can add your beans. So let's do the science experiment here. So we have a cup of water, and we reuse glass jars here, okay? So we're going to use a cup of water all over the countertop. Let's see. And again, this is distilled water plus a quarter cup for our distilled water. Then we're going to use Everclear, 1 cup. Pretty close if I don't spill it again. Wow. That's already warm. And on a snowy Sunday, that feels kind of good. But look at that bubble. Okay, we're going to let that sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Should be sitting close to half an hour. So, how do you know what the difference is between proof and percentage alcohol? Usually, when you're doing an extraction, you want the percentage of alcohol to be at least 40%. A lot of people who do tinctures and extractions, I do my own medicines, look for 40 to 45% alcohol in whatever you're using to do your extraction with. So you look at the proof. It says 190 proof, and you divide that, look at the proof, you divide that in half for your percentage of alcohol, which is 190 gives you 95% alcohol. Well, that's too high percentage alcohol. So, which is why we diluted it. And when you dilute the Everclear to bring it down to like 42%. So the bourbon, this says alcohol or proof, it's 92, which means it has a 46% alcohol. So we don't want it any higher than that. If you use straight Everclear on your beans, it's going to burn the beans like within a couple of days and totally ruin your beans. So if you're paying $14 an ounce or something for your vanilla beans, you don't want to burn them and ruin them. We're going to use a postal scale or a food scale and measure out what the USDA recommends, which is 1 ounce of vanilla beans per 8 ounces of alcohol. So you get something to put on your scale, you turn it on, you put that on your scale. We're going to tare it, which means we're going to erase whatever the vessel is that you're putting your beans on, to 0. So now we start adding beans to the scale to come up with 1 ounce of beans. Now, a lot of the recipes you see online are going to tell you 5 beans, 6 beans per cup of alcohol. Some are even saying just 1 or 2 beans for a whole jar of alcohol, and that's really unscientific. So the people who make vanilla extract regularly will actually weigh their beans out, which is what I'm going to do. So how many beans is it going to take to make an ounce? There's 2, 4, 6, 7. That's 1 ounce exactly. Alright, so we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beans for a cup of rye. Now, some people will tell you to take a sharp knife and cut it open and open the bean. I like to be a little bit more lazy than that, and my husband will tell you I shouldn't be allowed to play with sharp things. So, because I tend to cut myself, and I don't see the difference between opening it up and spreading it to slicing the bean in half. And inside the bean are these little nodules. Can you see those? And if you ever had French vanilla ice cream, and they've got these little black specks, this is what they are. Okay? So when you add the alcohol to your jar and beans, you want the beans to be submerged. Can you see that? Those are all the little delicious things of deliciousness. But you want your beans to be submerged. So, and don't waste any of it. Right? So I'm going to cut the ends. Right? So this is the USDA recommendation of 1 ounce of vanilla bean per 8 ounces of alcohol. A lot of people don't bother to measure it out. But for purposes of this video, we will show you what 8 ounces of the bourbon looks like. So that is 1 ounce Tahitian high quality vanilla beans. Pouring a cup of the alcohol. Pouring the alcohol in on the beans. Now, it's really important to have the beans covered with the alcohol. And really, all you have to do at this point is cover it, and then you need to label. Look, that's already extracted. Can you see this? So I have the type of bean. Comes from Uganda. It's in bourbon at 46% alcohol. Today's the 16th. It'll be ready 1 year from today. And I'll put that on a shelf out of direct light, and every now and then I'll swirl it. Some people will tell you the best place to put this is in a cabinet, but I'm one of those people that out of sight, out of mind. So I've got to have it where I'm going to actually remember to shake it. So this jar will hold, I think I measured out 4 cups. So we're going to turn the camera off right now. I'm going to process this, see how many cups I've got of this bourbon, and we'll turn the camera back on when we're ready to do the Everclear. Alright, see you in a minute. Welcome back. It's been roughly half an hour, and while we were gone, I went ahead and cut up my beans, except for splitting them, to put them in the mixture. Now this did get warm, and so it's about cooled off to the ambient air temperature. Our bottle took a double recipe. So I'll let you watch as I add the tips and the beans cut in half. Sometimes you can see the process start immediately in the color of the alcohol. So while we were off camera, we counted our beans that are left, and we have enough beans from this Ugandan order to make 6 more cups of extract. So we're out of vodka, so I'll be heading to the store for the highest proof vodka that I can find, and we'll do some vodka extraction. And the beauty of using Everclear is we'll be able to start using this 3 months to 4 months from now. So by April we can be using this because of the strength of the Everclear. The vodka and bourbon extractions, you're really best to wait a minimum of 6 or 7 months, but their best flavor is at a year. And some of you are going to be jumping up and down going, no, 2 years, 18 months. Everyone has an opinion. It's like belly buttons. But what I suggest to you is give it at least 4 or 5 months and taste it or smell it. You shouldn't really smell that much of an alcohol scent when the beans are ready. So if you're going to give these as gifts, you can get decorative bottles, and you may want to include your vanilla bean in the bottle as a gift so people can see, hey, that's actually a vanilla bean. A lot of people have never seen a vanilla bean. It's a type of orchid. But again, once I have things that have been extracted to the amount that I'm happy with the flavor and the aroma, I'm going to take the beans out and show you how to make finishing salt and sugars, which can be used all sorts of ways, but that's going to be at the minimum July. So if you can look in on this, you can see the bubbling going on. You don't see that with the other alcohols. Alright, so don't forget to make a label and put it on your jar. We always use Scotch tape. So there's our Ugandan Everclear extraction. Oh, we've got Uganda Everclear. We've got Uganda Bourbon. We've got Madagascar vodka. It doesn't look like vodka anymore, does it? We've got Madagascar Bourbon. We've got Tahitian Bourbon. Look at that. Perfect. Tahitian vodka. That doesn't look like vodka anymore either. Oh, and then we'll have 6 more jars of something. 2 more of vodka, and I guess we'll have to try to decide what else to try with this. But anyway, so I hope you got something from today's video and have been inspired to try making your own vanilla extract. And you're probably sitting there going, where do I get the beans? Well, if you're members of Facebook, Idris Vanilla Bean Co-op is what I belong to, IDRIS. And if you search for vanilla bean groups, she'll come up. And right now, mid-January 2022, she's taking pre-orders for the Madagascar beans. So you go in and you fill out a form and you pay, and when they're available, they're sent to you. The group is fantastic. They've got recipes for all sorts of things in their files. They're very supportive, and they don't laugh at you for asking beginner questions. I'm not an expert. I've been doing this a couple of years, and I did it years ago. So I'm kind of sort of a newbie, but not. So you'll have links down below this video, that I hope you have a thumbs up for me, and that you subscribe, support my new channel, and I'll see you next time when I'll be making, get this now, honey fermented cranberries and ginger. For, yes, medicinal purposes, but we've got our own bees, and I'll show you how to ferment cranberries and honey on our next video. See you later!